Hello, everyone. How are you all today? I am Tony Lindsay, your host. Welcome to We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. Uh, we're back again for another Fact Check Friday, as usual. Sorry I wasn't able to do it last week, but I was I was in Florida, uh, dealing with family. Kind of got caught up in the hurricane, but I made it just in time, made it back to New York just in time. But we are here once again for another Fact Check Friday where we debunk the lies of the mainstream media, the lies of various political parties. We're just going to be fact checking any lie that is told. It doesn't matter whether it comes from the left, whether it comes from the right, whether it's coming from Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, whoever. This is what we're doing because what we want to do is we want to create an informed public, an informed voter population. This is what we want. We want people to know exactly what it is that they're supporting, and we don't want you to be manipulated. A lot of folks are being manipulated based on sound bites and snippets and a whole bunch of things that are being taken out of context. So we are here today to just do a little bit of clearing the field, cleaning up the information so everybody can just get things in a little clearer perspective. So I want to add some of our panelists to the stage because I'm not going to be doing all that much talking today. I'm going to have these lovely ladies with me, and their handles are there. You guys know Neek Leon. She has participated on our panels before. You've also met Jenna, and we also have with us today the Don.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, these are brilliant young ladies, and I look forward to this conversation today. I don't know how many fact checks we're going to get to do today, but we're going to start. We're going to do a couple of simple ones because we know the way that with all the anger and the vitriol, the name calling, everybody's a liar, all the virtue signaling. We just wanted to just provide better context. All right. So one of the things that we've been hearing a lot of in our conversations, because you guys know I do a lot of talking on TikTok. I do a lot of stuff on TikTok, right? Because I'm being shadow banned pretty much everywhere else, especially on meta platforms. Like I'm just completely shadow banned. As a matter of fact, let me go and look. I'm actually fixing my. Oh, look at that. All right. So Facebook has me blocked. Let me unblock it. Every time I go live on Facebook now, they make sure that I'm private so nobody can see it. No one can see it. So that it's like I always have to reset it every time I go live. So hopefully maybe some of the 5,000 followers I have will see this. But anyway, the first thing we're going to talk about, there's been this thing where every time we talk about Donald Trump, people say that he says he's going to be a dictator. I think we debunked that one already. But they also talk a lot about this bloodbath thing that he says if you don't elect him, there's going to be a bloodbath throughout the country, which sounds very scary to people who just may not know better. So I wanted to play it first in the full context of what he said, and then we can discuss it. So first, I'm gonna bring it up.
Because people are thinking that he means there's going to be a literal bloodbath, and it's quite sad.
Absolutely, they believe like civil war or something's going to be going on.
Right.
Yeah. So let's give you guys the proper context so you can hear it. Now, remember, I've spoken to a bunch of folks, some Democrats who were very alarmed, and they said that they saw it on the news where Donald Trump was threatening to I guess kill. Can I say kill?
Yeah. Oh. We keep forgetting we're not on TikTok.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, because on TikTok there's certain words you can't say.
Donald Trump 567 in the chat.
Yeah. So Donald Trump is basically going to massacre people if you don't vote for him. But I'll let you hear what he said for yourself. For what he said for yourself.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
Did you hear what he was saying? So I'm wondering how many people got the context of what he said, because we know that whenever Donald Trump is talking, everything is always going to be taken out of context in order to scare the shit out of you. Now,
Absolutely.
NBC News, Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses the election. CBS, in Ohio rally, Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses. Trump says there will be a bloodbath and elections. So you guys see what's happening with the clickbait, with the headlines?
Yeah. And they're playing on people's, ignorance to the actual financial term that he's using. In economics, a bloodbath is, basically an informal term for a major economic disaster.
Correct.
So when you get the full context, you actually know what he means.
That's why they're preying on the fact that average day civilians is not going to understand that terminology. So
they're
but
just
you know
using
what?
fear-mongering
I
tactics.
think that's actually a pretty good point you just brought up there, Neek. Bloodbath. Now, we know there's a great slaughter, a notable, fierce, violent, or destructive contest or struggle. What is this? A major economic disaster, a market bloodbath. Could it be that while Donald Trump was talking about the auto industry, that he was talking about a major economic disaster?
Right. A disastrous loss.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, let's just have another look. What is this here? A widespread dismissal or purge as of employees, right? Okay. A period of disastrous loss or reversal. So that's what Donald Trump was talking about. But there's another thing that I think we all should be able to just kind of take a look at, that I wanted you guys to see as well, because Democrats were really so alarmed. Everyone in the news media had a problem with that bloodbath term. So let's just hear what Democrats have been saying.
I think you have to unmute the video. If you hover over the video. Yeah, and go to the volume. You got to hover over it.
By the way, say it again.
You got to hover over the video so that we can hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No.
You got to make sure the volume is on.
It is. Wait a minute. Tell me if you can hear this.
No.
None of you can hear that? Ask the audience, because it's playing. Can you guys hear it? Because I can hear every word.
Yeah, they're saying no. They can't hear it.
Really? They can't hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Uh-oh. Really? All right, I'm just going to try one more time. Your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing the screen again. Restart your. Oh Lord. Isn't that weird? How did I? Okay,
It's the Matrix, y'all.
How come every time I start like debunking stuff,
always some technical difficulties.
Always some technical difficulties that just come out of nowhere. Can you hear this?
Yes, now we can hear it.
Now we can hear it.
We got it. That's
okay. Now we know they were talking about Donald Trump. Let's hear the mainstream media, the leftist media, if they've ever heard of the term bloodbath.
Bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough. Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies as part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath. Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Bloodbath for Bernie Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath. They're shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats, a bloodbath at the ballot box.
There could be a Republican bloodbath.
They'll talk about a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And
It's going to be a bloodbath all day long. Is in for a bloodbath.
Hasn't been a bloodbath on the way down with Donald Trump.
Bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath.
predicted to be a bloodbath. May not be the bloodbath.
It would be a bloodbath.
More of a bloodbath.
It's going to be a bloodbath in November.
Possible Biden bloodbath this November.
A bloodbath on Wall Street.
There's going to be a bloodbath
in Alabama into a bloodbath.
Obviously, there was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. We're down 800 points.
Okay. Do we get the point, folks?
We do.
Absolutely.
So were all of those folks who were talking about bloodbaths in the stock market and election, were they all talking about massacring people, or is that only reserved for Donald Trump when he says the term bloodbath?
Only reserved for that man.
Exactly. They nitpick everything that he says, and they put everything he says out of context just so they can have some horrendous headline to scare everybody. It's fear-mongering.
I mean,
Absolutely. I feel like it's just fear mongering completely. That's why if bloodbath comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, it's oh my God, civil war is going to break out. A whole January 6th issue is going to happen again. They take the words completely out of context, and as long as Donald Trump says it, it's considered as a war, basically.
Right.
It's just like how they did him when he said black jobs. Oh my God, he said something racist, but everybody says black-owned businesses. I just don't get it.
Black vote, the black church, everything black.
All right, so there's another claim that we have heard a lot, as I said in our conversations with our liberal friends. Well, this is something that I've been hearing from a lot of not only conservative, but I've been hearing this from a lot of black folks. They say that Kamala Harris, they don't know what she believes in because she lies so much. They say that she's a chameleon, that she'll say whatever she needs to say, no matter what crowd she's in front of. And whenever I try to have this discussion with folks, they always get really upset, and they say, you know, like somehow I'm some type of a traitor for calling out the hypocrisy, right? For calling out the lies. And I think we're all entitled to an honest candidate, right? Someone who is going to be very incontrovertible in their position, so we know exactly where they stand. Now, the Kamala Harris that I saw on the campaign trail in 2020 is very different from the person I see now, who has changed her mind and she's gone back and reversed to the previous positions. So it's very hard to understand what she's saying. So I just decided to just grab a little clip just for you guys to see, because a lot of folks are saying like she never said that. And that's the thing that bothers me. Whenever Kamala Harris says something now, today, and we tell you, hey, that's not what she said the other day, you're saying that we're lying. So I decided to just have Kamala Harris basically tell you for herself.
The most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Fracking, she's been against it for 12 years. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again, worked on that. My values have not changed.
She wants to confiscate your guns.
I support buybacks, and it's something I'm so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Wait, do we know what a mandatory buyback program is, folks? To our gun owners out there, do you know what a mandatory buyback program is? That means
I know it's about taking your guns, basically.
And it's
basically the reduced circulation of legally and illegally owned guns.
And it requires you to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens if you don't sell it? Being that it's mandatory.
They'll come to your house and confiscate them.
Mm-hmm. And then you won't get any profit from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh.
But which doesn't make sense is the benefits that they say it's for, but when you take legal, I was about to say pew-pews, legal guns from legal gun owners, gun owners, what crimes are you stopping? They're not committing crimes.
Right. All they want to do is infringe on our Second and Fourth Amendment rights.
Yeah. And definitely.
Right. You know what? I got to find that video where Kamala Harris was standing next to Gavin Newsom and she was promising to go into your homes to make sure that you're going to be storing your guns properly. That violates your Fourth Amendment rights.
Can't do it by executive order any more than Trump can do things when he says he can do it by executive order. Does the vice president have a point there?
Some things you can.
Well, I mean, I would just say, hey, Joe, instead of saying no, we can't, let's say yes, we can.
My values have not changed.
Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison.
She said she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She also said she
Taxpayer-funded gender transition.
You see that? And this is true. This is what she a questionnaire she filled out on her initial campaign. Look at that. She wanted to end immigrant detention, because I wanted you to see the rest of that. We know that it's talking about the mandatory buybacks and what was it? The gender transition, taxpayer-funded gender care and transition surgeries for detained migrants. That means we're paying for that. Slash immigrant detention by 50%. Close all family private facilities. Decrease funding for ICE. And end ICE detainers. Remember when she was calling for the abolishment of ICE?
Yep. Yep. And it happened. It happened underneath Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They defunded ICE.
Yep. And look where we are today. And we're supposed to be racist or xenophobic for having a problem with open borders. And it's funny, like they had asked a question. Didn't they ask a question during the 2020 debates about it? Like I remember they just asked this question to all the candidates at the time. And it was a question that it seemed, I don't want to misquote it, but I remember the answer was all of them said yes. And it signaled in that moment, wow, they are all for open borders.
Yes.
I just got to remember what that question was. Maybe somebody in the chat will see it, but I'll definitely get back to it.
There was also a question for if you're in favor for Medicare for all, including illegal aliens and you know, everything that they were in favor for, it was just completely left.
And it
Like
and it
far left.
included illegal aliens.
Yes.
Okay.
For detain
For
migrants.
detain
She
migrants.
actually said she supported that.
My values have not changed.
Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
What was that? Didn't we just debunk that?
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. Let's remember Charlottesville. And what did the president then at the time say?
Oh,
there were
God.
fine people on each side.
Oh, God.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists.
Stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist.
Equitable treatment means we all end up at the same place.
The most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
That says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Her values do not change. Her words may change. Her pandering may change, but her values will never change.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They
Her
remain
California
consistent.
liberal values will always remain within her.
Scary work.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I also have a little fact check though for my black folks, the ones who are so confident in her supporting reparations. This to me has, and I know some people have seen this, right? And they say, you know, Kamala Harris, she supports reparations. You know, you've all seen the video when she was like, well, you think I ain't gonna just do something for black people? You know, let's be clear. You know, if you do something for black people, then that's for everybody. Everybody benefits from it. You remember when she said that?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but a lot of people are forgetting that that was an answer to a question. She was asked directly about reparations.
Reparations for black people.
Yep.
Well, listen. Again, we had over.
Hold on.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not.
Word salad.
And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans.
Right.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners.
Y'all ever notice that whenever she's lying, she does that weird pause swallowing thing, like that weird pause, like she
She
got
does
too
a
much
lot of
shit.
things. And her hands
Or
start
she
going
takes her hands
crazy.
and-
Her hands start, you know.
She has a lot of pantomimes. Like you
Yeah.
can see them.
Yeah.
Like I think you can easily read when she's lying specifically more than most other people. But
I think it's so funny that, you know, this administration, Harris and Biden, they can't pinpoint one thing. They cannot, you know, pass something that's specifically for the Black community, but yet they can pass the, what was it, the Asian bill?
Yep. The
Stop
violence
Asian
against
hate bill.
Asians. And then stuff for Indians, Native Americans.
Native Americans, Asians, the Jews.
Yep.
We can't say nothing about them. So, but where are the reparations for Black
We
people?
can't even say Jesus is king now. That is crazy.
Right. Or that would be anti-Semitic. So, you know, they're able to pass all of these, you know, all of this legislation for every other group, for the LGBTQ, but when it comes down to Black people, no, they want to keep you feeling like a victim and keep you wanting in asking with your hand out of what y'all gonna get us, what y'all gonna do for us, and they use the same pandering every single time, and you get absolutely nothing.
Because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it.
She's still talking.
Listen, the reality also is this.
The question was, do you support reparations for Black people? And here we are almost 2 minutes later, and you still didn't answer. But here's your answer, Black folks.
Any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family, really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I ain't gonna gone. Like what?
But she been in these streets though.
She had the whole head bobble too. You see how she code switches?
Who ancestor auntie did she conjure up to say that sentence? Like seriously? I ain't gonna say that Black people, it ain't gonna benefit Black people now. What? I cannot stand this lady. I'm sorry. I can't. But yeah, Black people. But I will say, Black men, Black people in general. There's a lot more Black people who are waking up and they're seeing what's happening. They're seeing the truth. They really are.
Okay. Well, so we I think we got 2 fact checks out of the way. I have another one, and this is one that a lot of people got a lot to say when it comes to Donald Trump and this Project 2025. Oh boy. We hear about Project 2025 all the time. Every time I talk to a Democrat, they say, well, did y'all read Project 2025? When none of them have. None of them have. No. And now they're trying to tie it to Agenda 47. First of all, they ignored the fact that Donald Trump's plan is called Agenda 47, and it's been on his website since like much earlier this year. But Project 2025 has become the new boogeyman. And the sad thing is that a lot of folks just haven't read it. They don't know anything about it. And the only thing that they're getting from it is the twisted versions of some of the sections of it that are being told to them by the Joyanne Reeds and the, the professional managerial class. So what I always encourage people to really just do your research and read these things to get a better understanding. Now, I read Project 2025, and I think there's a lot of really good things in there. I think there are definitely some things that are really problematic, but for the most part, I found myself nodding my head yes when I was reading certain things. I was like, damn, that makes sense, especially from the perspective of a parent, right? And so I would just encourage people to read it. And this is not an endorsement of Project 2025 at all. I'm just saying that what they're telling you it is not. And you don't get to say, oh, you're some type of liar or traitor or whatever it is when you haven't read it. You have to know what you're talking about. How can I take you seriously if you're throwing out accusations and you don't even know what you're talking about? And so outside of the content of Project 2025, which I have read, Donald Trump is not a creator of Project 2025. He's not. Now, see, that term affiliated is subjective, right? Because if you say Donald Trump is affiliated with Project 2025 or the Heritage Foundation, then you're also going to have to say that Barack Obama is affiliated with
Right.
the Heritage Foundation. You're also going to have to say Bill Clinton is affiliated with the Heritage Foundation, because they all have worked with them and they all have implemented policies that are rooted in Project 2025 policies.
Right.
But most people don't know that. All you hear is big, bad, scary Project 2025. And that's it. That's the new boogeyman. Don't we see that people are deliberately trying to scare the hell out of you in order to get you to do things? And what I'm saying they're trying to get you to do is basically vote and act against your best interest. So I'm just going to play a clip of the head of the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025 right here. Just so you guys, I just want you guys to hear some of this stuff yourself, right? Hold on. How do I get us over here? Hold on. Where's the volume?
Policy plans, and yet she's getting away with it. But I want to ask you about your proposals, because Democrats continue to try to tie Trump to your foundation's Project 2025. Trump himself has distanced himself from this 2025. He denied any involvement in it. Here's President Trump during the debate on September 10th. Watch this.
She knows better than anyone. I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book.
So, Kevin, I mean, the Heritage Foundation is behind this Project 2025. Where did you get these proposals? And are you suggesting Trump has anything to do with it or not?
Oh, absolutely not. We've done this since 1980, as you know, with our first mandate for leadership. This is typical public policy organization work. And so we would never have any elected official part of it because of the lane that we occupy. It actually would be illegal for us to do that. So Mr. Trump's completely right and accurate in saying that. But the second point, I think, is even more telling, Maria. The vice president needs to answer questions about the involvement of the Center for American Progress, which is a radically leftist organization. She has several dozen people in her administration from that organization. Their ideas are very out of step with mainstream American values. When you poll the kinds of things that we're proposing at the Heritage Foundation, restoring law and order at the border, revitalizing the economy, all things that really help to restore the American dream, these are 80-20 issues. The underlying thing is particularly sinister, though, and I just want to hang on this point for a moment, and it is that the reason the vice president is attacking our work so much is not just to mischaracterize it, but very importantly, to censor free speech by those of us on the political right. We're not rolling over on this. We're going to continue to do what we've.
So, isn't this one of the architects of Project 2025 right here?
Yep.
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 He's the president. Heritage Foundation president confirms Trump had no involvement in Project 2025. Can we put that to bed?
No, because they're
No.
still gonna say it's his Project 2025. They're
gonna
still
say
gaslighting.
they're gonna say that he paid them off to say that.
Yes.
Okay, so how about this? Let's see if we can put it to bed with this. This is Barack Obama on Project 2025. A lot of the ideas in terms of the health insurance exchange, just being able to pool and improve the purchasing power of individuals in the insurance market. This is him talking about Obamacare, that originated from the Heritage Foundation. Is that enough? Is that enough, y'all? No?
Nope.
All right.
That's
So
not enough.
That's not enough? All right. So how about this? If that's not enough, how about this? I hope you guys can hear this. How about Barack Obama himself?
When you actually look at the bill itself, it incorporates all sorts of Republican ideas. I mean, a lot of commentators have said, this is sort of similar to the bill that Mitt Romney, the Republican governor and now presidential candidate, passed in Massachusetts. A lot of the ideas in terms of the exchange, just being able to pool and improve the purchasing power of individuals in the insurance market, that originated from the Heritage Foundation.
What was that?
The Heritage Foundation.
Heritage Foundation.
That originated from the Heritage. Wait, hold on. But what's this? In 1996, is this Bill Clinton? Wait, the Heritage Foundation also wait a minute. Bill Clinton aligned some of his welfare reforms with the Heritage Foundation's recommendations, incorporating them into the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Act.
Yeah.
Can we put it to bed now, folks?
That's not enough. to the left, it's not
just
enough.
not enough. It's not enough, Tony.
It's
not gonna work.
That's not enough. Okay.
Trump is gonna put us back in chains.
You're gonna have to
using
still
Project 2025. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go find police immunity in there. We have to find police immunity.
The police is gonna get full, complete
immunity. They won't have to go through no court process. They won't have to sit in no cell. They can just roam free like this is the Wild Wild West.
Okay, what's the guy's name who endorsed Kamala Harris, the Heritage guy?
It's Mickey.
Mickey, right. Mickey.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna search it up. Mickey
Edwards.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Mickey Edwards is his name.
Edwards. Yeah.
All right, so well, maybe we should just without going overboard, without doing too much. Mickey Edwards, Kamala Harris endorsement. Longtime Republican Oklahoma legislator and Heritage Foundation trustee is making waves this week after he endorsed Democrat nominee Kamala Harris for president. He's a congressman. Now, they're saying he hasn't been active in the Heritage Foundation for some years now, but that's one of the trustees of the Heritage Foundation.
Wow.
Yep.
Endorsing Kamala Harris.
Yep. But again, they still going to say he has ties with the Heritage Foundation. Again, they're going to say that it doesn't matter. His VP that he chose wrote the forward letter for the Project 2025. Oh wow, majority of his administration has contributed to Project 2025. It's going to be an ongoing.
Yeah. Can we admit that TDS is a real thing, like Trump derangement syndrome?
It's absolutely the real thing.
Yes.
I mean, we're acting like the man wasn't president already, and it's like we're ignoring like the real danger that we are facing from a lot of the policies that Kamala Harris has been espousing. And if we look at we have another fact check. The statement she made in the debate with Donald Trump, right? Wasn't that the thing about no combat zones? Remember that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess let's see. So during the debate with Donald Trump, Kamala Harris made the statement that there were no troops deployed in any military, I think it was active combat zones. Is that what she said?
Yep.
Yep.
And it looked like everybody just came out to like just fact check her. But here's the funniest thing. I mean, look who
Before
fact
you
checked
play
her.
that, Tony, I just want to read exactly what she said. She goes, and as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in an active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century, Harris said.
Okay, that's a pretty bold claim.
Big bold.
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century. What? But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
Oh my gosh. That was the best
Yo.
fact check ever.
And I heard they got in trouble.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
They got in trouble for telling the truth.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's what it be. If you're not on their side and you speak up, you're getting in trouble.
Yep, and the U.S. I do want to add basically, yep, you have it pulled up. In this article in U.S. Today, it says the U.S. maintains nearly 1,000 troops on bases in Syria and another 2,500 in Iraq, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. In Syria, U.S. troops are stationed to help prevent a resurgence of Islamic State groups.
Yep, they play a similar role in Iraq, where they also help disrupt Iran's influence in supply lines to various militias. So yeah, we do have people out there in active combat zones. You know, U.S. military personnel in Syria, Iraq, and Jordan served there as global coalition on Operation Inherent Resolve. So yeah, folks, there are still soldiers out there. So when we talk about like how Kamala Harris is a chameleon and a liar, we're not saying that, you know, just to be mean to the lady. We're saying that because it's true.
It's very true.
So the question you need to ask is, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? And why? And I really sincerely want to know what it is that's so scary about Donald Trump to so many of my Democrat friends, because the things that you guys always tell me are things that are just not true. And that's what makes me really disheartened when I have these conversations, because I know it's the media that's telling you all these things that are not true. And the thing is, for all of you guys who seem to trust the media so much, how do you feel about the fact that the media has been telling you for the past 3 3/4 years that Joe Biden has been in the best cognitive health of his life? Y'all still believe that?
Nope. I never believed it one bit.
At all, since day one.
Yeah.
Since before day one.
If you knew Joe Biden in 08 days, you would see the difference that you see today. There is no way that's the same Joe Biden as that was running in 2008 with Barack Obama that had jokes for days.
Right.
He's complete. It's almost like he's a completely different person.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not the same man that was leaving. But what don't make sense is when they brought that case against him and did a competency test, they said he wasn't competent enough to stand trial, but could say he was competent. His entire pregnancy is just diabolical to me.
Right. You're not competent enough to stand trial, but you're competent enough to be the leader of the free world and run the country.
Yeah.
100%.
And
It's
nobody,
scary.
yeah, like nobody's questioning that. Like, don't we think that's a threat to national security that Kamala Harris has been lying about the cognitive condition of Joe Biden for all of this time? Like, does
But
that?
not only her, just everybody in that house, that White House.
Right.
Even when you talk to advisors, Congress, and Senate, you know they having conversations with this man, and everyone knew. Everyone knew he was not there. That's
They're
why he was
all
on
guilty.
vacation. They're all guilty of knowing.
Yeah.
Right. So then how do you trust the information that they're giving you moving forward? How do we all swear by all of the things that they're saying? It's like Project 2025, bloodbath, find people on both sides. All of these things that are clearly lies. Then why are folks so married to these perspectives that Donald Trump is just this evil monster? And you know what? Hold on. There was another fact check that we had, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I
The
almost
Trump,
forgot. The
yeah.
Trump lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Who wants
no, to answer your question, Tony, that's Stockholm syndrome. That's why they continue to vote for these people.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
true.
It is.
It's like they're just they can't imagine life without being abused.
Yeah.
Mentally and emotionally abused. And financially.
Do y'all know what this is? Because everybody talks about, how Donald Trump was found guilty of discrimination. Remember that thing of not renting to black people and all of that? Remember that? And this is the thing. I hate the fact that I always have to always got to defend all of these lies, man. It's like no one is actually looking into any of this. Do you see what this is? This here is the judgment. It is, remember, y'all said Donald Trump was found guilty, right? This is it. Case closed. United States District Court, Eastern District of New York, United States of America. It was a DOJ investigation, right? Yeah. Against Fred Trump, Donald Trump, and Trump Management, Inc. Now, let me just, I want to read this. This claim, the United States, blah, 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 with result that equal housing opportunity has been denied to substantial numbers of persons, and that the defendant's subordinates have failed to carry out their obligations under the act. We're talking about the Fair Housing Act, right? That they were basically discriminating. Defendants vigorously deny said allegations. Accordingly, without adjudication of the merit and without any admission as to the extent or absence of liability, and in order to resolve this matter without further protracted litigation, the parties hereto are prepared to resolve this case by the entry of a consent decree, right? It is expressly understood and agreed that the execution of this agreement by Trump management is in no way an admission by it of a violation of the prohibition against discrimination as set forth in the Fair Housing Act or any other applicable statute, rule, or regulation. So this is not an admission of guilt. It is not a guilty finding. It is a settlement. Irrespective of the merits of the complaint, however, the principal officers of defendant Trump management are prepared to affirmatively assume and carry out the responsibility for assuring that their employees will comply with the act and will promote equal opportunity. Accordingly, the parties are prepared to resolve this case by entry of the following consent order. So basically, when you go through this, and we're going to drop a link to this, there's a link to this that's going to be under the video where you can go through this. And it's basically saying that they're not guilty of anything. We're not saying that we're guilty of anything, but what we will do is we'll just put out like an announcement that we are fair opportunity, that we offer fair opportunities in housing to who we want to rent to.
Right.
Basically what it says. He had to put out some ads saying, hey, we are an equal opportunity landlord. That's basically all they really had to say. But there was a little caveat that was put in there by one of the lawyers, but I want to kind of show you because I think a lot of people don't have the proper context for this lawsuit. Let me show you. He would say the company wanted to. Okay, so let's just take here because this is what I want you guys to see. The case, which was one of the biggest federal housing discrimination suits to be brought during that time, put a spotlight on the family empire led by his 27-year-old president, Donald Trump, and his father, Fred Trump, the chairman who had begun building houses and apartments in the 1930s. Now, Donald Trump demonstrated the brash, combative style that would make him famous. We know that Donald Trump is brash, holding forth at news conferences in a Manhattan hotel to decry the government's arguments as such outrageous lies. He would also say that the company wanted to avoid renting apartments to welfare recipients. Let me read that again. The company wanted to avoid renting apartments to welfare recipients of any color, but never discriminated based on race. So, and I've talked about this before. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, he didn't want to rent to black people. Then you have people saying, oh, he didn't want to rent Section 8. It was welfare recipients. And you know, you have these equivalent programs where they subsidize your payments. And let's be real. Are y'all saying that Donald Trump, like in Trump properties, you expected them to be renting to people on welfare?
Right. Are these luxury apartments?
Listen, they think luxury stuff should be handed to people when they can't.
These are luxury.
Yeah, luxury apartments to welfare.
You think that you could stay in the Trump Tower with a voucher?
Right. I don't even rent like to people. I mean, I don't. I believe that like when I mean anyone who is a landlord or in real estate nowadays, you know the problems that you face when you're dealing with people who aren't, let's say, responsible for paying their own rent.
Right.
Does that mean I'm a racist and I'm anti-black? Are black people the only people who receive welfare?
That's the racist part. Are you saying that black people are the only ones that
No,
receive
and you know what's
welfare?
crazy is that white people receive the voucher at a higher rate than African Americans. So that's what I find is hilarious.
They be having problems with the stereotypes on our people, but they continue the stereotypes when things just doesn't go their way.
Exactly.
But here's the crazy thing. Because if you really look into this, like you can look at, I think NPR did a story on this, Politico, and all these other places. What happened was all the headlines about this case after the settlement was reached were because it was like 20 months long, and they were like, you know what? Fine, we'll put out an ad saying that we're equal opportunity for everybody, but we don't want welfare.
But hold up. But Tony, real quick, this is the major part on why they're calling Donald Trump racist. He wasn't involved with his father's company at this time, because if you go to the very first document on the website where you can get all the court documents, literally explains to you on why this case is occurring. In July of 1968, they were doing an investigation to see if a black man would get shown an apartment or a white man was going to get shown an apartment. And that's what started everything, was the fact that in July, a person came in there on the 13th of 68 to see if he could respond to an ad for an apartment. He was turned down, and then his white counterpart went in and he got shown the apartment, and then 3 days later they filed the complaint.
And this happened, you said, in 68 when when it was Trump's father.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And here's the thing. We're talking about shortly after the assassination of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., right? We're talking about, we know it was a different time back then. We know it was his father's company, right? He was the chairman. Donald Trump was just entering into the real estate game. He was in his 20s. But somehow the actions of someone under their portfolio of 14,000 apartments, that got attributed to Donald Trump being a racist. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like, bro, that's kind of a reach. And then the thing that makes it worse is there were Trump properties all over New York City. Remember, they had properties all over New York City. And in certain places, I think like in Bed-Stuy and other places, they had properties where in certain areas where they were like 40% of the property were black tenants. And obviously they weren't going to be slums because the Trump properties weren't slumlords. So there were some properties that had 40% or more African Americans in those properties, but no one's talking about that. And I believe the overall average was somewhere around 13% black renters in their apartments, which is actually reflective of the population of the United States, isn't it? Aren't black people like 13% of the population?
Well, they said it has grown a little bit, but we're still a low percentage.
I wonder why. But we're going to have to talk about that issue another time, because one of the main platform policies of the Democrat Party, I think that contributes to us remaining as 13 to 14% of the population. But we don't have to get into that right now. So, I just think people should look into the context, because as I was saying, a lot of the articles that were coming out after that settlement was reached, they were saying victory, Trump found guilty, like, a victory for black people and blah, 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 painting it as if he was like the Trump organization was found guilty of doing something. You get what I'm saying? And that just wasn't true at all. So I guess there have always been these sensational headlines and this clickbait that people have been falling for and using that to form their opinions. So
agree.
So yeah, we can't say white now on TikTok. What?
Yeah, you gotta say YT.
Oh my God. Hold on. Someone says, I've been in property management for over 35 years, and the minimum requirement is that you make 3 times the rent. You can't do that if you're on welfare.
Right.
So is that discrimination then? Is that what we're saying? That's discrimination?
Most likely.
That's
racist. Especially if they
racist.
trying to live in the suburbs.
Yeah. So notice that USA doesn't just says Kamala was wrong. Had been Trump, it would have said Trump lied again. Oh, it says notice that USA Today article just says Kamala was wrong. Had that been Trump, it would have said Trump lied again.
Facts.
Right.
Or the fact that Donald Trump sometimes misspeaks, and when Tim Watts misspoke, he accidentally said that he was friends with a school shooter.
Right.
Didn't he say he was a knucklehead or something whenever he
did. Yeah, he's just a little knucklehead that
But if Donald Trump would have said the exact same thing, this is proof. This is the school shooter friend he is talking about. Like, come on now. It's never fair. It's never fair.
But what I guess what I really want to know from people is, do you think this is a time where you should be voting based on emotion?
No.
No.
Because that's pretty much the argument I hear from a lot of people. It's he's mean, he's racist, he's what else? He's a liar.
He's a liar.
Listen, every time emotions get brought into something, the greatest empires fall.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that's pretty much everything I have for today's fact check. I mean, we can
and
go
everybody, if you want to actually see the sources that was used tonight for Fact Check Friday, it's right in the bio below.
Yes, you can find it. Well, all that information is in the information on the Rumble. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna modify the video that we did. It's streaming on YouTube now, so I'll add it to that as well. So yeah, I guess that's I think we covered pretty much everything for today's episode of Fact Check Friday. If there's anything anyone wants to add, I mean,
I think you should play that Al Sharpton video for the ending.
Wait, which one? The one when wait, did you send that to me?
I did. It's in the chat.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
just to end this on a funny note. Just play it. Just play it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Where is it? It's frozen. Wait. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Oh
Let me
my
see.
God. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let me. All right. So we will end the show with good old Reverend Al. Oh God.
Bobblehead.
Oh Lord. All right. So which one is this? Oh, let me see. Here we go.
If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that
You see the fist?
What was the hand?
The cackling idiot.
It's so uncomfortable.
He just looking at her like you full of shit.
Yeah, you know you lying.
No, but she
No, you
laughing.
lying.
She's laughing because she knows that bill will never come across her desk.
She will listen. That lady will put it in a trash can next to her desk and lit it on fire before she
Okay.
signed it.
But listen what she said. If that bill hits my desk, I will sign it. But what are you going to do to make that bill? You're not going to champion anything like that. Like, come on. And you know that bill is not going to get anywhere near your desk. It won't even be a bill.
She was like, "Don't you ever disrespect me with this foolishness."
What bill are they referring to? What is he talking
Just
about?
reparations in general.
Oh, reparations.
Reparations.
Oh my God! You know.
Oh, wait, you mean the same one that she just finished saying? Well, yeah, let's be clear. I ain't gonna do nothing just for black people.
Oh God!
Isn't that what she said? But somehow I'm the bad guy for telling you, for showing you what she said. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
Right. There's never a time to vote off of emotion.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Oh my. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. Everybody seems to be upset about the TikTok silencing rules. Yeah. So TikTok is like is a very, it's a heavily censored platform now. Like it's very, it's rough over in them TikTok streets. So I don't know. We're gonna start participating more, doing more on Rumble and on X. So we will be over there. And yeah, because we got to spread the word. We have less than a month left, and I think this is a very important election because we are facing an unprecedented threat, and a lot of folks just don't understand the seriousness of this.
They're too comfortable.
Yeah, we're very much invested in emotion. We're not really, we're not looking into the details, and that's the thing that's making it very scary, because a lot of the things that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are promising to do, Democrats in general, they are extremely violative of your rights. I'm telling you, she's promising to censor you through big tech, through these platforms. It's happening already. They're promising to make sure that you are either censored on these big tech platforms or can face criminal prosecution.
Right.
That's serious for what they don't want to, for what they disagree with, for what they call propaganda, what they call misinformation. When you use those words, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, all of that, it's just a fancy way of saying censorship. You're not saying what we want you to say. And that's dangerous. And let's not pretend like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and just your government does not lie to you. They lie to you all the time. So are these the people who you want to be the arbiters of truth? And the crazy thing is they're now openly telling you what they're going to do. They're telling you they're going to come into your home and make sure that your 2A rights, that you're following the right protocols.
They were already spying through us through the phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who made that possible? Barack Obama.
Hold on, I don't know if y'all can see her. Let me get this real quick. My husband put this on our wall. That's who exposed Obama for it.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me get you on. So
Uh, it was Snowden.
Oh,
oh,
Snowden. Okay.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice that all these whistleblowers, all the people who tell you the truth about what your government is doing to you, they get prosecuted, thrown in jail.
Mm-hmm.
They attempt
Having
to,
to flee, having to flee to Russia of all
Yeah.
places.
yeah, plots to murder,
Murder.
You
murder
can say
them.
murder. You can say
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
TikTok
can't.
has us all messed up.
like, and people, and I like, yeah, you can say what he did was wrong, but at the end of the day, he allowed American people to understand that what they were doing against the American people was wrong. We be inspired on our privacy are being invaded, and quote unquote the government is for privacy. The Democrats are for privacy, but a smooth talking president is over here invading on our privacy as
Right.
well as threatening people's lives because they got exposed.
Okay, so Musical Angel says it's not the USA as when they're talking about TikTok and the censorship. Y'all really think that it's China that's censoring us on TikTok?
No.
No, it's
Like,
definitely the U.S. government.
like
Yeah.
what? I don't. We don't understand. See, this is what I mean. People aren't really informed. First of
They
all,
spent
Definitely the U.S.
China does not own ByteDance. They don't own TikTok, right? But even besides that, you guys saw the congressional hearings when they threatened the CEO of TikTok. You saw when they passed that, when they slid that that little extra amendment into the bill, into the, I think it was a foreign aid bill. Was that the funding bill for Ukraine and Israel, where they slipped in the TikTok ban in there, where they basically saying that TikTok is going to have to sell all of its foreign interests. I think they just had to sell it, right? If they don't divest the portion that is owned by China, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Right.
And then, and what government is coming after the owner of Telegram? What government was that? It was the U.S. government, right?
Well, no, that was the
Or
French
who was
government.
that?
It was the French
The
government
French
that
government?
arrested him. Yeah, but
Uh-huh.
people don't understand that the United States is actually investing. They're funding a lot of the censorship
Yeah.
through NGOs that is taking place in these other countries. That's what
Okay.
people don't understand. And so they're coming after all of the social media platforms that you use in this quote unquote public square.
That's why all of these left-leaning individuals want Elon Musk to arrested,
Yeah,
because
they
now
want
they
to
don't
get
have
Elon
control
so
over
bad.
Twitter. They can't really control all platforms.
Right.
Because Mark Zuckerberg owned Facebook and Instagram, so, and Thread, because Thread is a part of
Right.
those conglomerates. But yeah, they want to control all platforms.
And he even admitted that, you know, the Biden White House is what pushed them into censorship, right?
Right.
Alexa, stop. Yeah.
Not Alexa trying to butt in.
Okay.
Alexa,
Alexa is a little
stop.
spy.
Alexa.
What you
I don't trust her.
Yo, give me 1 second.
Alexa is listening. They're like,
I do not trust Alexa at all.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's why
trust any of
I
them.
looked
Siri, I
we
don't
got
trust
a
Siri either.
we got a free Google Home. Like when we first moved to Arizona, I gave it away because we're not gonna have that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Oops.
Sure.
Sorry about that. Technology. Ooh, why did that happen? Somebody listening to me?
Yep.
I need to get that
Yeah.
shit out my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a video. I know this is off topic. There was a video of this woman that has an Alexa around her house, and she can just sit in, like sit into the thing and listen in to any room that Alexa is in. So that's how she caught her husband. She
What?
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
crazy. That's why Alexa, Google Home, you can keep it.
Yeah.
Stacey is very informed. She's a very intelligent person because she understands that it is the U.S. government that is involved in this. And what people don't understand is that due to that threat of being uh, basically banned, having to sell your company, TikTok has clearly been uh, accommodating the U.S. government. They've clearly been uh, compromising their values and their standards in order to make room for the censorship that at first they pretty much decried from the beginning. They're making a lot of room for that now, and there you see it. I mean, we see it. Like after that bill passed, the TikTok ban bill passed, all of a sudden y'all noticed that there was a heavy campaign to silence us. TikTok was the one place where I was actually allowed to have organic engagement. And it's like the more truth I spoke, the more it attracted people. Like the more people just started flooding in and the bigger it got. But then it's like once I got to a certain amount of exposure, they started messing with things. And now it's like I'm limited in the reach that I can have. But that's what they do. They do it.
It's all about just total control, censorship, authoritarianism. It's just that's where we're headed if Trump does not get back into office.
And that's the thing. Like Donald Trump is literally fighting for the things that I would think people want. Like, you want freedom of speech, right?
And I also feel like that's going to lead into people, just everyday people, giving up their land and having to give away to people that are not even from here, because quote unquote they like us to live on top of each other. So I definitely feel like that will happen.
Right. And we haven't even talked about the immigration issue yet. So, but I guess we're gonna have to do that for the next live, because the framing around the topic of immigration has been that you're racist if you have a problem with illegal immigration. And the black folks I talk to, they got a major problem with it. They're not racist. A lot of this stuff is flooding into their communities, and their resources are being taken away from them and given to other people who aren't paying taxes here, who are just kind of just getting stuff for free, while folks in our communities are being put out of shelters, left to be sleeping on the streets, and it's offensive. It's really offensive. And then when you dare to question it, they put you to this like virtue test, like you're a bad person if you don't want to, I don't know, prioritize those people over your families. And I think this is a tactic that they use to try to get us to fight with I have nothing against immigrants who come to this country. My parents are immigrants, but they did it the right way. They did it legally.
The problem is, right, they're trying to put them together as if they're the same, and they're not. They're trying to make it seem like they are legally here because we brought them here, but with the process you're putting them through, that's not how the process works. So I think that's what the problem is, and they're just trying to make it seem like it's just about race, or it's just about greed and us being selfish and not being welcoming, when I feel like day-to-day people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, we are born here. We deal with legal immigrants that do come here. They do the work. We are a community, and it's always been like that. So I don't understand how they can just flip the script and just say, you just don't want them here because you're selfish.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, we went into overtime, y'all. So to everyone who's watching, thank you very much. Next week, we're going to do another Fact Check Friday. This one was kind of thrown together at the last minute. I mean, we just started working on it like late last night, early this morning. So we're going to do this again next Friday. Yes, thank you, Stacy. I see you down there. we're going to do this again. Also, you can follow us. You can follow everyone you can follow Jenna and Neek They're on TikTok. You can find the Don. She participates on our TikTok lives. You can find me on. Wait, where is it? Where's my little my name? Where's the follow me on TikTok? Boom. Right there. Tony_talks. That's where you find me. I would talk about my Instagram and Facebook, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not allowed an audience over there anymore. Like, I'm completely banned. It's not even shadow banned. Like, I should look over there right now. I bet you there's like maybe one person watching on Instagram. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I can tell you right now, right? I'm looking at my Facebook. Guess how many people are watching?
0.
One.
What one?
There's one person watching on Facebook. This is so bad. But yeah, folks, that's censorship for you. You know, they don't want us to be able to communicate each other. The most dangerous thing to a corrupt government is an informed public. And yeah, as you see it right now, I'm looking at my Instagram and it says there's one person watching. Is that true? One person is watching?
It's probably them.
Oh, shit, it's probably them. Kelly says, I'm here for these talks, Tony. Oh, hey, Kelly. You're here. You're there on IG. Okay, so that's Kelly. Thank you for being the one person watching over there, Kelly. But Kelly, if you want to find me, you got to go to TikTok for now and go to X, Tony L Talks. Damn, I need to put my X there because I'm going to start doing Rumble and X mostly. I still do a lot of TikTok lives until they throw me out, you know, but y'all know you don't get in trouble for lying on social media. You get in trouble for telling the truth. And so, you know, as far as, yes, okay, Kelly, definitely. Kelly was in my movie. Oh yeah, by the way, folks, yes, you can check out my movie. It's called Where Hearts Lie. You can find it on Amazon Video, shameless plug, and other streaming platforms. Where Hearts Lie. All right, director, that's me, Tony Lindsay. I'm gonna cut out the Instagram right now. Y'all can find me in the other place. Boom, Instagram is closed. Yes. So everyone, we thank you very much for joining us tonight. It has been amazing. We were happy to bring you this Fact Check Friday to give you a little bit more context to the things that you've been watching in the mainstream media while they've been lying to you and gaslighting you. Yes, I know Facebook does suck. Someone says I'm probably done with TikTok, so please come here to Rumble. Yes. Oh, thank you. Someone said it's an excellent movie. Thank you, P. Mortada. Yes. So, yep, we're going to be here on Rumble more, and I'm going to figure out what the hell is going on with my YouTube because I get more and more followers, subscribers on YouTube, but less and less views. So this is what happens under the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris censorship industrial complex. So if you want to be able to hear from us, or you want to be able to speak freely on social media, hey, you got to vote Trump. And trust me, even 3 years ago, I couldn't dream of ever saying anything like this. I voted for Joe Biden in 2020, but I realized it was because of pressure and frustration. But I didn't realize that the frustration was mainly coming from me just being fatigued with all of the fear mongering and the gaslighting that was being done by the media. And I think that was a huge mistake that I made, and I'm not going to make that mistake anymore. You got to take ownership and accountability for your vote, ownership and accountability for the things that you say and the lies that you tell and the lies that you repeat without even knowing. So you have to take the charge, take the responsibility of informing yourself. That way you can inform others and you can make smart, informed decisions. And the last thing I want to say is to all the black folks out there who have been getting attacked for saying that you're voting for Donald Trump and they're shaming you for walking away from the Democrat Party. Let me tell you something. You are the informed voters because you are the ones that decided to do your due diligence and make sure that you knew exactly what you were voting for or against. Democrats have only been teaching you, or they've only been encouraging you to vote against. Vote against that bully, that boogeyman, or that bully, that evil person. But they're never really able to tell you what you're voting for Why? Because they believe that you are political children. We are not political children anymore. We are informed, rational thinking adults, and we care about policy, not personality, not your character. Well, I guess character kind of ties into it, right? But at the end of the day, I care about policy, the things that are going to matter in my life. All right. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Once again, this has been We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. And as I always say, we all have a responsibility to question the things that we have been taught. You don't have to disagree, but you must question it. Otherwise, you're nothing more than a mouthpiece for someone else's point of view or their agenda. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
You